Good evening. Let me know if you can hear me. Good evening. Come on in, everyone. I was just sitting here listening to me some good old inspirational music. Music really does have an effect on you. Um, I was sitting here listening to some good old inspirational music. Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me. Come on in. Good evening. Say hello to me if you're there. Don't be afraid to say hello. I'm just here to talk with you briefly. I'm gonna say briefly because it'll be probably an hour. I'll say brief. That's my brief. That's my briefly. So if you like that type of brief, that's brief for me. For a talker, natural talker. Hey, Brace Club, how are you doing? How is everything going? Happy New Year. I don't think I saw you for the New Year on here. You see, we're coming live on 1/1/1, January the 11th, 2026. We're on here, right? Good evening, everyone. Come on in. I'm giving YouTube a little bit of time to get people, to notify people, to get them in, um, to get everyone in, and to see what you all have going on. Let me know what you have going on. How was your evening? How was your New Year? How are things going for you? Are you starting the year out right? You know, let me know. Are you starting the year out right? Let me know if you're doing that, starting the year out well. Starting it out right, well, and on point. Um, Let me know. So come on in. Come on in. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. Come on in. So I hope you all are well. I am well. I am blessed and highly favored. I'm excited to share some news with you all so that we can move forward. You saw the title. You saw the title here. So that's what I'm here to talk about. If anyone wants to guess what that title is, you can do that. But come on in. Come on in. And I'm looking down at my phone because I'm managing my phone as well too. I'm managing my phone as well. So come on in. Come on in to my chosen family, my online family. I'm happy that you all joined me tonight, this evening. I got all cute up. Exactly. I guess the thumbnail gave it away, Bray. Bray's Club. Um, so I'm excited. You know, I came in and did myself all cute for this. Okay. I'm excited to share with you all that I have released my second published. Well, there's more than second because I did an online one, but my second physical copy of my book. It's called How to Play the Cards You've Been Dealt. And I'm excited about this because I've been working on this book for over a year, only because I wanted to make sure that I put have the correct information and just write it according to the vision God gave me. So I've done that and I'm excited to share with you all. This is my new book, How to Play the Cards You've Been Dealt. And it's 7 chapters. It's a very easy read. You see, it's a small book. It's not as thick. It's a small read. You can read it, I would say, in an hour. But if you want to marinate maybe an hour and a half, maybe even I won't say 30 minutes. I'll say an hour because you want to read it to where you're soaking in the information. It's not just, you're reading to take in the information. You're reading to um, allow the information to soak in and to, hey, Matt, thank you, dear. Thank you too for the purchase. So you want to read it to where you're able to apply it. I share a few of my life experiences in the book, but I want to talk to you about the book and really discuss a chapter or two, but not into great detail to give the book away, but to discuss the book and to hopefully encourage you all, right? Not just to purchase the book. It's not about that only because I've been here on YouTube for over 3 years, but to help you all, to encourage you all to not look at your circumstances as, as what they are right now. You have to look at them as what you want them to be. You have to listen. The reality is the reality. You can't change things. That's the reality, but you can focus on how you would like to move forward, and that's what this book about. But it's really about my life and how I decided to not focus on the life that I had, right? Yeah, because I can't change how and I can't change how I was brought into the world, right? I can't change that. I can't change the family that I was born into. I can't change things that, you know, I thought, right? Like, let me see if my nose look like my nose. Hold on, you all. I want to be on here look like my nose trying to run a little bit. Give me a minute. Okay, I'll be right back with some tissue. Sorry about that, you all. I don't want to be on here with my nose running, sniffing and carrying on. But this is live. I'm not going to edit that out. This is the live. This is the real thing here. What I was saying is, I didn't get to choose my circumstances when I came into the world. I didn't get to choose my mom. I didn't get to choose my dad. I didn't get to choose the circumstances that I was born into or what I thought was just so bad, and which wasn't to me as I've gotten older and matured. It wasn't bad at all to me because I got to learn from those things, right? So this book is just about um, focusing on what you have in your hands to play with, like the cards you have in your hands, like the life circumstances that you're facing right now, right? That's what the book is about, right? You're just dealing with you have to win with the cards you have, win with um the circumstances you have in life, like win with what you have in your hand. Because you know what I've noticed with people, the main thing we talk about, and I tried to make notes in my proof. This is an actual copy of the book, but I have a proof, and I tried to. I made notes, but I'm not sure if I left it on my desk or wherever it is. I'm not sure. But what I want to, if I could remember, what I written down when people say they had a hard life, right? Or what was that revelation I received? Oh, yes. When people talk about life, they mainly talk about finances. They mainly talk about, oh, they was born poor or they were poor, they didn't have money, as if money is the end all be all. Yes, we need money. Yes, we need money to, to live and to buy things. And, money is a tool, right? But if we focus solely on that, we can't focus on the things that money can't buy, right? There are plenty of things that money can't buy. So I used to say that too. I'm like, like why? I'm like, why was I born into, this family? My family didn't have a whole lot of money. We didn't have like generational wealth and things passed down and things set up for me. And I didn't have like the best, my mom wasn't the ideal mom, as people would say, like a mom who would raise and nurture you. I didn't have that. My mom been an addict all my life. All as far as I can remember, only I'll say one time my mom, as we would call it, clean. She was not addicted, right? And then my dad it was the same way. So I didn't have like the normal life, as people would call it. I wasn't born into the best of circumstances, right? Thank God for my grandmothers, my grandparents, but I wasn't born in the best of circumstances. And when you're younger, you don't understand those things. It's not until you mature and you grow that you realize that life is just how it's going to be. You know, my life is what I was dealt. Those were the cards that I had. So guess what? I had to learn to deal, I had to learn to play to win with that, right? It's not the end all be all that you were born into a family that was poor, or your mom was, an addict, or you were adopted, or you were born and you never got to meet your parents. It's not about what you didn't have. It's about the resilience you built in spite of what you didn't have, right? That's what we have to focus on. What do we have? What, like, with me, not having my mom present, not having really a dad present, right? I had my grandparents, I had my grandfather, but that was limited. It was limited. Like, they taught me a lot, but it was still things missing. And that's the thing. Our parents, grandparents, whomever, they're not going to be able to give us everything in life. Life is just going to teach us certain things that only life could teach us. Regardless of what I pour and what I pour and do for my children, they are still going to have to learn certain things in life. Yes, your parents could set you up for, for success. They can guide you and raise you to make good decisions, but everybody don't have that, right? So you have to look at what you have and win with that. See, I knew growing up, me not having my mom and me watching my mom, like, be an addict. I watched her, like, I I don't want to be too transparent here, but I watch her do a lot of things, right? In her state, in her addictive state, I watch her do a lot of things. And I could have taken that path, right? But I chose not to. This is how I know it's about making decisions. You can make the decisions to do good or bad. It's all about the decisions you make, regardless of what somebody do, what you saw growing up. You still have a choice to make a decision that is right and that is wrong. And I'll get back to my book a little bit later, but it all ties into it. Um, I realized I had a choice to make. Either I'm going to let what I experience define me, or am I going to learn from it? Am I going to take all of the lessons from it, right? Because I learned from my mom, from my dad, from family members. Like, when you are missing certain things, you can learn from that. I built up a resilience and a fight that only could be built when you're going through things, right? I learned to not give up because of what I experienced in my childhood. I learned to be resilient. I learned to keep going. That's why shame, my shame meter has been deactivated. I don't think anything could embarrass me at this moment in my life, because I went through all the embarrassment as a child. Kids can be cruel, but I don't hold nothing against the children, because kids are kids. I've done it, right? People have done it to me. Kids can be cruel. And they used to talk about my mom, growing up, and I just had to deal with it. I had to take that. I had to take it. So that built the resilience in me and deactivated my shame meter. There's really nothing that can embarrass me. Like the things that people are normally embarrassed about or over, as we would say where I'm from, it doesn't faze me, right? Because I've been through all of the shame as a child, watching my mom walk the streets and, you know, um, use controlled substances. And I'm not here to talk about her or to put her down and make me um, elevate myself. I'm just telling you parts of, my story and the reason for this book and my prior book as well. But yeah, my shame meter is my shame meter is deactivated. Okay, because I went through a lot dealing with my mom and, just overcoming different things, right? So I had to get over what my mom couldn't provide because I always wanted that mother, that, I could talk to, that we can go to the mall and do daughter and mom things. I never got to do that. I did that with my grandmother, my dad's mom. Man, that was my girl. My grandmother, my dad's mom she was a good the best grandmother you can ask for, right? As far as spending time and doing those things, we used to do a lot of things together, like a lot of things. She was one of the people that really encouraged me in life and motivated me to just be the best I could be. You know, she always would encourage me, always would speak life into me, always would, nurture me. And I realized that although my grandmothers, both of them didn't have a whole lot of money, they were rich in resources. And now that I understand how rich they were, now I'm able to use not only the spiritual wealth that they had, I'm also able to apply the spiritual wealth that I've learned and marry it to the knowledge that I've gained, the physical wealth that I've gained, right? Because my grandmothers, they were big, both of them. One I was close to because we spent a lot of time together. And my mom's mom, I was close to because we spent a lot, she used to always take us to church. Let me just say that. She took us to church and she instilled that faith in me, right? That's the foundation I had with my mom's mom. She instilled that faith in me, and to always believe and trust in God. So I got a lesson and I got something from both of them. Although they lacked finances, which is not the end all be all, I tell people they had spiritual wealth. They were faithful women, um, very faithful, very loving. Both of my grandmothers, very kind, very giving, very patient, and I took a lot from them as far as no, I had to grow up. See their patience. I don't have that type of patience as far as um no, I don't have that type. Mm-mm. I got I got to get that type, but my grandmother, they had some patience, especially with their children. They had some patience. Like how my uncles, I don't know, that's another day. Let me just focus. But they had spiritual wealth, patience, love, kindness. Um, my dad's mom, she was a giver, and that's why I'm a giver. And I think it's just in me too, but to watch her how she gives and always looked out for the community, that did a lot for me. But I learned those things. I learned the spiritual piece. I learned the spiritual wealth, right? I learned the things that money can't buy, right? I learned those things, right? The things that money can't buy. So what I want to really come share with you all, I shared with you all. I published my new book here, and um, I wanted to talk briefly before I got off on a tangent earlier because people who know me know this is me. I'll start one thing and talk about something else, but I'm trying to get more focused this year and be more intentional. But I published this book. My computer wants to update. I published this book. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's called How to Play the Cards You've Been Dealt. It's 7 chapters. And it's a very short book. It's a very short, punchy book. That's what they call them, punchy books when they're less than 100 pages. Um, And there was something I wanted to share with you all from the book, and it's the last chapter, and it's called, this is the last chapter of the book. It's called Play Boldly and Adapt as Needed, right? And I was thinking about my notes, and now it's coming to me as I opened it. And it was one of the lessons in the book that I wanted to share with you. Some practical ways to incorporate, and you'll have to read chapter 7, but what was it? Practical ways you can incorporate both into your life. It was talking about boldness and adaptability, but it was some notes I made in my proof that I wanted to share with you. And I don't want to give the book away because I do want you to purchase it. But I want to say it was lesson number 5. I want to say it was lesson number 5 because I don't want to have to get up again. Yeah, I want to say it was lesson number 5 where it talks about, and this is actually the last page, page 69, if you want to refer back to it if you purchase it. But basically here I was listing 5 practical ways that you can incorporate boldness and adaptability. But what I wanted to read to you all is lesson number 5. And it talks about to embrace uncertainty, right? And this is what I want to read to y'all, right? It says, the unknown can feel intimidating, but it's also where growth happens. Boldness often requires stepping into uncharted territory. Instead of fearing the uncertainty, view it as a space for discovery, creativity, and opportunity. By combining bold action with flexibility, you can create a strategy that is both courageous and resilient. You learn to move forward with confidence, knowing that setbacks are not the end. They're stepping stones. Boldness gives you the courage to take action. Adaptability gives you the wisdom to course correct and grow. Together, they empower you to take risk, learn, and thrive no matter what life throws your way. So when you embrace uncertainty, right? Which means we don't have control over every aspect in life, right? And when things hit us that are unknown, like divorce, separation, like relationships that you wanted to work, friendships that you wanted to work, that job, so many people I ran across that have gotten fired from their jobs. They thought they were going to be on the job forever. And whenever you lose something, you feel like all is lost, right? Whenever you lose a loved one, whenever you have to go through a bad breakup, whenever you lose a family member, like someone leave this earth, like when my grandmothers passed, I was hurt, but I didn't feel like I lost anything because they prepared me, especially my dad's mother. She always prepared me, and she always would talk about when she left the world. Old people tend to do that. When they leave, don't do this, don't do that. So she kind of like prepared me for her death. And I became not accustomed, but I've adapted quickly to understand that death is inevitable, which means it is going to happen. We are going to leave the world. So when she left, I was more so sad and really hurt, because I used to talk to her all the time. We spent a lot of time together. So she prepared me. I just wanted to, say that she prepared me for that. But when we lose things, we think it's the end all be all. When things or relationships don't work how we wanted them to work, we think it's the end all be all, but it's not, right? You have to pivot, right? You have to pivot and you have to focus on what and where you want your life to move from there. Whatever the situation is, you want to focus on moving forward from there and take all your focus and move forward. but I had a lot of uncertainty in my life, you know. Um, I had a lot of uncertainty from going living through abuse, not knowing that I would be able to get out of that relationship, especially when I was a young woman who really didn't understand, life. I was still trying to figure out my own self. There was uncertainty there. I didn't know, if I would be able to get out of that relationship. I didn't know how my life would be after, a separation, from my husband. I didn't know where my life would go. I'm being transparent. I'm led to be transparent. I didn't know where my life would go, especially when you've been with someone since you were a teenager, when you were barely figuring out life yourself. I didn't understand. I didn't know where my life would go. I didn't know in what direction. I really didn't know what to do because I thought that was my end all be all, right? I thought that I would die with my husband. I thought we would, leave. I thought he would bury me or I would bury him. But that wasn't the case. Life changed and we move on, right? And I'm not here to speak ill of him, but the situation happened and I'm just sharing with you so you know that when uncertainty come, you have to learn to pivot. You have to learn to recalibrate, like readjust, redefine, reinvent, all of the re's, refocus. And it's not easy when you have your mind set, when you have your life set on things. So this book will help you get through some of those things. You have to win with what you have. You can't I can't change the circumstances. I can't change what has happened. I only could change where I'm going moving forward. I can't sit and be embarrassed about that. I can't sit and live in shame. I can't sit and wallow and I can't sit in that. I have to readjust, pivot, refocus, regain my strength. Because the thing about life is, and I talked about this earlier, we have our we have our life planned. And half of the times we don't take those plans to God. We have our life planned out. We have our life scheduled. We have it looking a certain way. We have plans for our children as if they're our children. Okay. We have everything mapped out. And when things don't go as planned, or when someone leave this earth, or, you know, when life don't happen as we designed it, a lot of people get stuck. A lot of us get stuck. We don't revisit what we have in our hands to deal with, what we have, what we're looking at. We don't look at the truth. We stay stuck in what we lost. We stay stuck in that. And it wasn't until I decided I wasn't going to stay stuck in what I've experienced in my childhood. I wasn't about to stay stuck in the abuse. I wasn't about to stay stuck in the mistreatment, the betrayal. I wasn't about to stay stuck in that. I didn't want to stay in that. I didn't want that to be my life. I didn't want to be the person that never could bounce back. I didn't want that to be my life. I didn't, because when we allow things to hold us back, we give whatever it is our power. And I like to stay vibrant. I like to have that youthful energy. I like for my energy to be at a certain level. I like to vibe high. And I know if I'm thinking and living in unforgiveness, I know I can't vibe how I want to. My energy won't be able to increase to the level I want it to increase because I got things and people holding me back. When I decided that I wasn't going to I wasn't going to allow, that's a word. I wasn't going to allow my circumstances to hold me back, is when I was able to free myself and I was able to free other people. Because sometimes we don't want to release people. We think we have to hold on to people out of the sake of, because they're family, because they're a relative, because for whatever reason, we feel like we have to hold on to them to make sure that they're doing what we want them to do. Like, you can't control, you got to let go. When I learned to let go, I was able to free myself and I was able to find my peace, right? I was able to find peace. And this book, it kind of details, like, not detail, I want to say detail. I want to say it's a culmination of different experiences that I've encountered throughout my life, from childhood to my now. And that's how I came up with some of the titles for the book. That's how I came up with some of the titles. It's just based on my experience. This book is based on what I've experienced, what I've learned, the wisdom that I've gained. And yeah, it's based on my experience. And I just wanted to come share it with you all. And if you have any questions, you can ask me any questions. I have a link in the description where you can purchase the book, and I will be coming back on advertising it more. I just wanted to come here on January the 11th to let you all know what I've been working on and to release it to you all at this moment, right? Because I feel like it's the right time to do it. So I was obedient to the spirit within me. I was obedient and I came to release that and just to chat with you all too. I like to chat and keep it. I like to make my lives feel like we know each other. And some of you all think you all really know me. I know some of you all think, you all know me because that's just how I feel, make people feel. My grandmother used to be that way, we're family. I make you feel like we are really family. And that's how I am in real life. I'm like that in real life. That's not just the online persona. That's how I am in life. If we mesh well, because some people I just don't mesh well with, and that's okay. But I'm still going to be me, and I'm gonna still make them, feel that I see them or that they're seen. So, but I'm excited that I've released this book. I had to make sure I was cute for you all. I had to make sure I was cute, and this is my book. It's on. Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you for always supporting me. That's my online family there. That's Matt. Matt is special. I'm gonna say that. But look, he's special. Um, Always supporting me, always supporting anything that I do, that I put out there, and I really appreciate that. I really do. So, if you like to purchase it, you can go in the description of this video and purchase the book. I published and designed. Well, I had this design made. I went through Fiverr to have that made. And I've been holding on to this book cover for about 2 years now because I knew eventually I would release this book. Um, so I had that cover made 2 years ago and I just held on to it. And I finally was able to get the book completed. That's why when I used to disappear, I used to come on, you all used to see me do videos, and sometimes you didn't. That's what I was working on. I was working on several books. I have more than this one. I think I wrote 4 books. This is just the first one that I published as of now, but I have some still on my computer that I have to release, and they will be released this year. There's 3 other books that I'm going to release that I know is going to bless you all, but that's what I've been doing. Now the secret is out. The secret is out. That's what I've been doing. I've been working diligently, trying to just be obedient to my spirit. Yeah, to be obedient to my spirit to get what I have in me out. And I'm very proud of myself for that because it took a lot of focus and hard work and editing and going back and all of that. So I hope you all enjoy this book. I hope it bless you. I prayed over this book. Okay, I prayed over this book. I'm not going to lie. I pray that it gets to the right hands. I pray that it helps people see um, life in a different perspective. I pray that it helps them see life in a way that they're not looking at themselves as a victim, but they still can be victorious. Because if I trauma dump on you all won't believe it. But I try not to do that. If I trauma dump, okay, because people are good at that. And two, don't let people trauma dump on you all this year. Tell them to send them an invoice, or tell them that you charge for your services because they should be seeing a therapist. So if someone wants to come and trauma dump on you all, just tell them, hold up, send them a cash out request for whatever your price is. I'm serious. Send them a cash out request, especially if it's just some random, right? Because people tend to do that and not even notice that they're doing it. No, just have them send them say, hold on, what's your phone number? Hold on, let me send you this so I can cash up you for my services. And I wish I would have known that back in the days. I think I'll be rich right now. If I would have had the mindset I had now, I'll have some money for my services. But I'm glad you all came to share this moment with me. Share this moment. In the beginning, I kind of like was all over the place because I'm trying to get my thoughts, and I had a lot going on in the background. But I released that. I'm obedient. You all know now, the book is out. It's on Amazon. You can order it. I'm the first one to purchase my own book, so I purchased my copy first. I didn't want anyone to, and I think Matt is going to be the second one, but I didn't want anyone to beat me from purchasing my own book. And the price on Amazon is $22.22 for the price. And I am going to have it in ebook format where you can purchase on my own website when that is complete. And I'm going to have this book too, for you to be able to purchase on my website when it's complete. But right now it's on Amazon. And I would love for you to support it. Support it, get it for someone if you cannot. And also what I've produced and generated on Amazon. This is a journal. I created this myself as a 2026 vision. You got to sit and write the vision. This is a journal, and I'm gonna open it for you. This is a journal where you can date and time. It's a blank page journal, and this is on sale too on Amazon that I created. And this is just for the year of 2026, where what I do, because I journal a lot, I'm a writer. Um, I document my dreams, I document my ideas, I document revelations that God give me. Um, I document like downloads, whatever I feel I need to write down, I write it down. So I wanted to create this journal so you all could not only keep up with the year, right? Because the journals I have, I always date, and I would date and time them. So I created one that's already have the date and time where you can just write it in. And this is for 2026. So you know what year that you received the ideas, the visions and dreams. Or you can just I would love for you to purchase this one, but to start, you can get a composition book and start there. It's important to write. You can't depend on your memory to remember everything, every thought. We get thousands of thoughts every day. So if you write it down, oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. if you write it down, you could go back. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna share something with y'all because someone needs to hear this, right? I just feel led to share it. I've written down things that I wanted to do years ago. And I mentioned this a while ago in another video, but I've written down ideas and things that I wanted to do. This book is an idea that I've written down years ago. On the book, I wrote down how I wanted the book cover to look. This book cover is an idea from what I wrote down 2 or 3 years ago. So when you write things down, no, it may not happen at that moment, but it will come to pass. It will come to pass when you write it down. I just wrote down the design of the book. When I sent and I did a little mock-up for myself because I'm good at different things. I did a mock-up for myself, but I wanted the picture to be professionally designed. So when I upload it to Amazon, it'll be clear like it is now. I wrote it down. I wrote that I wanted the book when the title came to me. I wrote down that I wanted the book to have a picture of a deck of cards on it. And that's how come I have this book. But I wrote it down years ago. It could have been, I want to say, because when I wrote it down, I wasn't writing the dates on different things. I started writing the dates on when I get ideas. So I know it was about 4 years ago, maybe even 5. Let me see if I don't have it here. I think it's over on that side. Let me get up. I'll be back because I want to see exactly when. Oh. This is my first composition when I started writing everything down. Even the name for my business, I wrote that down, Responsibility, my coaching business. That idea was given to me and I went and got it trademarked. I had to. Let me see. Let me see if the date is in here. I want to share with you all how long it was when I wrote the idea down. But my point is, write it down. Just write it down. I don't think this is the book. I don't think this is the one. But I have this composition book and I write down. And I have more than this. This is one of the older ones. But ideas that I've shared in this book and written down, they have come to pass. So it's good to write things down. Give it to God now. Give it to God. Make sure it's aligns with what his will for your life. But I wrote it down. Ideas, resources, prayers. I even got a contract in here. My son said he was going to buy me a house. I made him write that down and I made him sign it. It's a contract. I said, I'm going to hold you to that. You got to hold these kids to what they say they're going to do. But I got it in writing. He was playing chess. I was playing checkers with him. He talking about he going to buy me a house. Yeah, you put that in writing. Because you may get older and forget you said that. And I got it in writing. I know. I'm a petty mom like that. Very. But you got to hold people to what they say now. I was trying to, but it's in my other book. Yeah, I did. Here it is right here. On February the 6th, 2022. On this day, I promised my mom I would buy her a house, and I made him write his name. I'm holding him to that. Don't buy me a house. Even if it's just a little toy one. He didn't say what kind, but I'm going to hold him to it. I wish I could find that date. But anyways, just write your seriously, Matt, just write your write things down, ideas, revelations. God has given me so many revelations, different stories. When I used to, not when I used to, whenever I read the Bible, he'll give me different revelations, like as it pertains to what I may be going through or what I have gone through, or showing me things that relate to my current situation. And I write it down. I write it down because you just can't. And then you go back. I remember one time, 2020 and 2021, I was going through a lot of warfare. And I was having a lot of demonic, weird dreams. Okay. And I know it was spiritual, and I was fighting. And I went back to one of the journals that I had, and I was seeing how God was protecting me and sustaining me and teaching me during that time, because I didn't know exactly. I knew what I was dealing with because it was spiritual. I'm going to say a lot of it here, but I knew what I was dealing with, but I didn't know how to fight it. And he was teaching me. And I got a whole book of dreams of war, like just dealing with a lot of warfare. And I'm like, I'm glad I recorded that, because eventually one day it's going to turn into a book. I can turn it my dreams into like a series or two, into a devotional or to something to help people get through what they're going through. I write down everything. I got journals on top of journals. Even when I was in grad school, I have my journal, and I documented my feelings through grad school. And that was spiritual within itself. I knew I was supposed to be there. And it was just so much happening, so many revelations. That's when I had my first open vision. You know, I don't have them often, but I was sitting in class, and I'm gonna share this with you all. Then I'm gonna let you all go. When I was in grad school, I went to what they call a Christian school. And we freely talked about God at that school. And I want to say one of the professors, I think it was a minister, but I know God was using him at the time. And I don't know what the conversation was, but we were talking about, we had to be talking about dealing with certain things, addressing things from our past. And I remember I was sitting in class, and because when I was younger, let me tell you all before I get to that part. When I was younger, me and my siblings, we were taken by Child Protective Services from my mom because she left us in the house, and someone called Child Protective Services on her, stating that she left us in the house alone because she was out probably getting high or something, which I think that's what happened. And I remember this when I knew that I had a gift, and I go back to my childhood, I knew it always been there, because I remember being at that house and someone came to knock on the door. And I'm gonna get back to the graduate school story, but I have to tell you this so you can understand that. So I remember a lady coming to the house. That lady didn't say not one word. She didn't say one word. She was dressed up nicely. She had a clipboard in her hand. And we lived down the street from my grandmother. That lady came and knocked on that door, and I felt in my spirit something was about to happen. And I ran down the street to my grandparents' house. I never forget that. I ran down the streets to my grandparents' house, and I knew that lady was there to take us, but I ran. Okay. And I had been running since. Spiritually, from a little child, I had been running from everything since. I've been running from Child Protective Services. And when I was in grad school, I had an open vision. Now, back to grad school, I had an open vision in class where I saw my little self running. And God told me it was time for me to stop running. I had to start facing everything that I was running from. I had to start facing it. And that was the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing. Okay. So I wanted to share this with you all, let you all know that I'm just being transparent, and I'm not someone just here who looks cute and coming to, put makeup on and like I never been through nothing. No, I've been through some stuff. And that's only half. Okay. That's half the story. Um, But I remember having that open vision, and I ain't never experienced nothing like that. I'm sitting in class, and I just saw, it was like a quick, me running down the street. I was running, running for dear life. And it just came, it just went back. I kind of like went into trance, saw myself running, and then I came back to myself. And God said it was time for me to stop running. And ever since then, grad school, I've just been facing every challenge that I needed to face. And it was very hard for me to face it, but I did. And I'm here. This is where I am now. I started facing things, facing people, facing my past, facing family, facing situations. I mean, I had to go back and face everything. When I tell you everything, he made me go back. When you spiritual, you connected, when you're called, he gonna make you go back. That's why I tell people God will deal with you first. He's not going to deal with the people who mistreated you. He's gonna deal with you for mistreating you and being disobedient. But I had to go back and face everything I ever ran from. Everything. Everything. And it wasn't easy. It was so hard because at that time in my life, I hated conflict. I was a people pleaser. I hated confrontation. Now I scare myself. I think I'm too confrontational now. And it's not confrontation in a bad way, but meaning I will address things quickly. I don't let things slide underneath the rug. I don't run from things anymore. I address things. I'm not the Monique I used to be. I shocked myself. I'm gonna be honest. I shocked myself like, girl, you really have changed. Zero tolerance. I don't let people mistreat me anymore how I used to. I don't tolerate people and their foolishness like I used to. I don't. I'm really a different person. I shock myself. I look in the mirror and say, "Girl, oh, yeah, you really have been changed." But I wanted to share that with you all. So I hope and I pray that this was an encouraging, little mini live, mini live, just to let you all know I published the book and to show you all the proof in the physical copy. Okay. And I really put time into it. I put time into it. I put some love into it. I really did. And that's a little bit about me. This book, I didn't put my picture on there because you all know who I am. My first book, I put my picture, on it. Let me show y'all my first book. My first book, I had this published through a publisher. This is my first book. It's called Broken But Not Destroyed, Piecing Her Together. And this is my first book. This is when I was really facing, I had to put this out. This book was more like a what did I say? It was more like a not a testimonial. It was more like I was breaking free. Nope, it wasn't that. It was more like, oh, I used to say it all the time. Where this first book was like something. I can't remember the word, but it was more like me just not being afraid and ashamed anymore. Just telling my truth, introduction to my life. This book here, which is not in print, I may bring it back in print. But this book here was I'll say my introduction. my intro my introduction to me just breaking free. It was more so for me it was more like for personal reasons, not like to become a bestseller. It was more for me to step out and let go of everything I was trying to hide, and all the shame and all the things that I felt like I was, holding back. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a little picture of me when I was little. I look like my son on that picture. My baby son looked just like that picture. Yep. But I had the picture in there. But this was I went through. I got attacked too when I was before I published this book. I got exactly, Matt, and I felt so good about it. I feel like when I released this book out of obedience, I felt like I was being set free, right? There was nothing else that was able to hold me back because I put like the things I felt like I was shamed about in this book. And I got attacked before I published this book. I had this, I had a terrible dream. And I wasn't as spiritually connected as I am now. I was getting there, but I think I'm connected now. Like they say, I think I'm well connected now. But let me tell you, before I published this book, and I'm gonna share this because somebody needs to know. Before I published this book, I was attacked in my sleep. I was bitten by a snake in my sleep. I was bitten by a snake. And I think I remember in the dream I did sever the head off of it. But I was bitten so hard in my sleep that bite woke me up in real life. It woke me up in real life. Yep. But I was learning how to fight spiritually then. God was training me. I wasn't there yet, but he was training me how to pray, how to fast, how to read the word. But that bite, oh, it woke me up. And I didn't understand it. I'm like, this is crazy. I was like trying to deny it, reasoning with, you know how you reason with yourself, like, did I really just get bit? And I woke up and I know it was spiritual. I know it. I was fighting. So now I know why now, but then I didn't understand. Yes, it was. It was, Matt. I know it was. Because you know what happened in the dream? What happened in the dream when I was bitten, the venom got so deep in me. And I wrote this dream down. I wrote it down. I just have to find it. But the venom was traveling so fast in me, I felt myself swelling up. But I know that I was saved in the dream. I don't think I died in the dream, but it was an attempt. It was an attempt, and it was very close to me. Um, and it was a spiritual attempt, what God had shown me. And I swelled up so bad, and the venom was traveling so quick. And I was like, they ran out of the anti venom of for that snake. And I woke up and I had to wake up and pray and cancel that dream. But I know it was an attempt. But I know I'm protected. Man, I'm well protected. I know that now. I know I'm spiritually protected. But because there's been several attempts, but they won't work, you know. Um, but that's part of it. When you're a spiritual person, when you're anointed, you're going to have those type of attacks. People are not going to understand it who are not anointed, who don't have a call on their life. They won't understand it. They already think you're strange and weird. They think you're a weirdo, but that's okay. But when you have that type of calling or anointing on your life, you're going to go through a lot of warfare. And one of the things you're going to go through, and I had to tell somebody this, you're going to go through a lot of character assassination. People will always assassinate your character because you know the plans and the schemes of the enemy. So you can duck and dodge. You know how to maneuver. And because you know how to maneuver so well, right? You know how to maneuver so well, the next thing they're going to go through to is character assassination. It happened to me plenty of times. I'm the kindest person you can want to know. Kindest person you want to get to know. I make a good wife, a good friend, a good confidant, a good motivator, encourager. And I'm not saying this to big myself up, but I know, right? I know what I know. And people will still assassinate you when you giving like and you trying to reason like I'm kind to you, I'm good to you, I'm friendly to you, I'm you doing all the things, and that's when people assassinate your character. When you that good person, because they want you to feel like you're not that person, when naturally that's who you are. But when you're called and when you're set apart, character assassination, that's gonna be the top of your list of things you're gonna have to deal with. I was telling somebody this a week or so ago. I said, but what you have to do in the character assassination when it's going on, you have to continue to be yourself. You have to continue to be true to yourself. Don't deviate from who you are. Don't be extra friendly. Don't try to overcompensate. You just continue to be who you are. And eventually the truth will be revealed. I had to just encourage somebody about that. I had to tell them the same thing because I've walked through it. I've walked through it several times. Now then, it didn't feel good and I didn't understand. But now that I'm spiritual, okay? Now that I connect with God on a spiritual level, right? Now I understand why it happens. And when it happens, I understand that I can expect a blessing. I can expect is near. Something is near that God is about to bless you with when those things happen. So I'm just teaching a little bit too. So, but you still continue to be you. Don't let that break you. Let people say what they want to say. Let the people who believe what it is being said about you, if they believe it, you move around them, okay? But you go up, don't deal with them. But that's just how it is. People like to recruit others. You have a lot of you have people teaming up on you, right? You have people, you'll go through character assassination, you'll go to people grouping up against you as if you're the villain. They'll make you feel like you're just this awful person. Okay. I'm letting you know. You'll be accused of things that you did not do, and people will believe it. But your job is to continue being yourself. Your job is to not address it or try to get people to see you in a different way, because what you will do, because I went through it. So God had to um he had to train me and show me where I went wrong when it happened to me. When the betrayal and the character assassination happened to me, I was trying to go to the people and plead my case and like, y'all should know me. Yeah, I was going through all of that. God said, no, you're doing the wrong thing. He said, be quiet. Be quiet. Time will tell. Time will tell. I will fight for you. Let time, you be consistent in who you are, and time will reveal the truth. And that was the hardest thing for somebody who talked a lot, for somebody who used to like to clap back and say what I need to say. I know I'm different because I don't even respond how I used to respond. I don't respond like that anymore. I don't react. I don't respond. I don't try to clear my name up. I don't try to get people to see me in a different light. You're going to see me how you see me. That's not my job to change that. It's not my job. It's either you know me by my spirit or you don't. I don't try to prove people. I don't do that anymore. Because when I used to do that, that kept me in a place of trying to prove a point, trying to prove something. And I wasn't able to focus on my purpose, focus on what it is I need to do. If I was still stuck in that, I wouldn't be able to write the books that I have written. I wouldn't be able to be at peace. I wouldn't be able to, give people the wisdom and revelation that God give me. I wouldn't be able to minister to people on the spot because I've done it plenty of times. God gave me revelation and to tell people stuff, I've told them on the spot. But if I was stuck in that energy, I wouldn't be able to do that. My vessel would be clogged up. I wouldn't be a vessel, a pure vessel to use. So I got spiritual boundaries, spiritual walls to protect that. I have to protect it at all costs because it's easy to get caught up. It's so easy to get caught up when you're not spiritually aware because people are going to come for that character. They are going to come for your character. He ain't he ain't that person. He ain't who he say he is. I heard somebody say he did this, he did that. She's not all that. Let me tell you about what she used to do and who she used to be and how she used to. People gonna come for that character. You know she did this. I be lying. People would just lie, make up a lie. I couldn't for me, I couldn't even fathom creating some false narrative about somebody. In my head, it just don't make sense. But people are like that. They want to tarnish your image because you seem too righteous. You seem too perfect, not knowing you go through hell every day. Like you go through hell, you just don't let the hell go through you. I know it's time for me to get off now because I'm laughing and cracking jokes. You go through hell, you go right on through it, but you're not gonna let hell pass through you. See what trick some people, what make people what confuses people is you don't wear you don't wear what you go through on your shoulder. You show up. It's not that you're being fake and phony. You just a good spirited person. You show up. You show up. You don't take what you're going through at home to work. And you don't bring what you're going through at work home. Not consistently. You may rant of two. I've ranted a few times. But you're not, no, you're not bringing all that into your place of peace. You're not doing that. I don't do that. I don't, I could be, I've walked through last year, I've walked through some stuff. I've walked through some stuff. I had to deal with some things. I found out things that I didn't even know that rocked my world. Uh, and I dealt with that. I dealt with it. I walked through it, but I didn't bleed out on people. Exactly, Matt. They do. Look, they hate you. Look, Matt, they be hating because you don't went through all that trauma and drama and you come out still vibrant. They'll hate you because you went through what you went through and then you made it out. The audacity of you to get over that. The audacity of you to forgive and let go. Mm-mm. They will. They will. That's why I stopped talking. I don't tell people nothing. I don't tell people anything unless God tell me. I don't because I was a yapper. I'm still y'all see I'm still on here. I'm a yapper, but I used to overshare and tear things that was just not needed to share. Like it was no one's business or it wasn't even anything to say. It's just I used to talk so much and I used to share things that I give the enemy the insight, giving the enemy the foothold and a door and all the information. They getting all the details because I'm just so honest that I ain't got nothing to hide. No, that's not why. That's not wisdom. I wasn't operating in wisdom. I had to learn to be wise. I had to learn to be wise, which means you don't have to share everything with everyone. You don't have to share everything with everyone. hmm I used to just because I just felt like my life was an open book. I felt like I didn't have anything to really hide, and people really didn't care anyways, which they don't care. But you can't just be sharing everything. I keep everything separated. I don't when I'm at work, I don't talk about anything what I do online. I never share anything what I do outside of my job with my coworkers. Never, ever. I'd be like, oh, hey, I got a YouTube channel. Oh, hey, I wrote. No, I don't do that. I talk about work at work. I try not to mix the two. Sometimes, some certain things spill over or have when you first start, you're trying to assimilate into, the work environment. No, you don't do that. That's not wise to do. I know it may feel strange, and some people may discover that you have a YouTube channel, and just politely tell them I don't discuss that at work. I don't discuss what I do outside of work at work. I'm on these people clock. I don't want nobody to say I'm soliciting. I don't want none of that to happen. So I keep them two separate. Separated. Okay. So you all, I hope this encouraged you all. Thank you, Matt, for staying in the entire time. What time is it? What time is it over there? What time is it? Let's see. But I appreciate you being on here with me and supporting me. Let's see. Oh, you up late over there. Yeah. I know. I see. I like you up late. Well, early. I'll say early. But it's here we say it's late. You stand up late. But I appreciate you for staying on with me. But I'll come back and discuss the book um more in detail. It just seemed like my car be the ideal place. I created this little space for me to do videos, but it just seemed like I can't get myself together. Maybe I need to pray over it or something. But in my car, I'd be more, you know, thought out. Everything just be on point in my car. I guess my car anointed. I guess all the times I don't pray, sitting in there crying and snotting and carrying on. Look, all the times I'm sitting in the car crying and snotting and carrying on. So that thing anointed, them tears in there, that car, that car, that car is anointed. Okay. And Sylvie is very, very, very anointed. That's my car name. Her name is Sylvie. But I appreciate you all coming in, hanging out with me. The description of the link to the book will be in the description, and I will be back another time. And I appreciate you all. I'm not going to keep you just rambling. I'm not going to keep you. Um, but I appreciate you. Thank you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Matt. We need to get on another live stream soon. See what's going on for the new year. I know you're probably busy, and that's okay because I've been busy too, especially at work. I've been busy. I thank God for it, but I've been really busy at work, and then two, trying to make sure I'm doing like where I'm working and then making sure I come home and work. Right. I still got to do what my spirit is calling me to do. I can't just get consumed with working and I'm not working in my purpose. So I make it a point. I make it a point to um when I do work, I come home and work too. I work on things that I need to. But this is my book, and I appreciate you all for supporting me. And I will be back. I will be advertising it too on some shorts. And I have one coming out next month. I can't give you all that tip. I got another one coming out next month. Just have to get the cover design. But that book is finished. I told you um I did four. And then too, you got to remember these books, too, my books were written at different points in my life. So, but I'm just releasing them at different times because the one that I'm gonna release later, it was written before this one. The one that I'm gonna release last, because I have like four that I'm gonna release this year, maybe even, and I'm working on another one. God gave me another idea to write another one. So I have to get in the works with creating that one. Um, but the one I'm going to release last is the one I actually written first. So, and I left it in its authentic form with my thinking at that time, with how I talk at that time. So you will see the growth in the books, and you will see the different language. And I want to leave it like that because I'm just an authentic person. I don't want to try to change it, right? To make it, because it'll be, the book is written in where my mindset was at that time. So I'm going to leave it in that format. So this book is more of where I am now, my language and how I speak now, my thought processes now. But the one that I'm gonna release later in the year, that is where I was at that time in my life. So you'll see a totally different. Like you'll be like, you're gonna look at, is this the same person? I don't know if it's the same person, but it's the same person. It's just, and that's with any book. That's with anyone. You got to remember where people are when they write their books is not where they're going to always stay. Because when I wrote my first book, my thought process, some thought processes in this book, I have unlearned. I've unlearned. So yes, it still can help you or the person, but you just, we change and we grow, right? I wrote this book in 2018. How old was I? 2018. I was in my 30s. Yeah, I was in my 30s. So, yeah. Yep. I want to say I was in, yeah, I was in my 30s. Yep. So, um, and it's the back cover of it. Yep, just explaining. But I went through with this book. This book I published on my own. Ooh, I hit myself in the face. This book I published on my own. This, my first book, I had a book publisher to help me. I hired a book coach to help me. Um, but this one I did everything myself because I learned from this one. And that's what God showed me. Go and pay, because I paid someone to help me publish this, but she charged so much now. I'm like, oh, I can do it on my own. Now, see, she helped me with this when she first started. Her name was John Wright Good Publishing, but her prices have went up since then because she have published a lot of books. She have. Um, so I got her when she was first starting. So I got me a good deal. And everybody I've sent to her said that yeah, her prices were a little up there. But I was proud of my book. I got it out. She helped me. She's good though. She's good at what she does. So I'm proud of myself. And now I think it's my turn to help someone. Like she helped me. So we'll see. But this is my book, self-published. Yep, self-published and has 7 chapters. And I'm proud of this. I'm proud of my product. I can't say. Yep. Proud of my product. I really am. Yep. So I'm gonna go, you all. Good night because I have to get ready and get myself prepared for work tomorrow. I appreciate you all stopping in, listening to me, and you all be blessed.